This is the Solid Signal podcast for the week of February 1st, 2021. This week I wanted to talk about antennas and how the Extreme Signal antenna is really kind of cool and how they work really well while saving you money. I know this is kind of a commercial, and some of my podcasts are like that. Some of my podcasts are a little bit more out there. So occasionally I do have to do something that's really on topic in order to pay the bills. And this is one of those weeks. If you take a look at a lot of the antennas that we sell through the Extreme Signal brand, you're going to realize that they look kind of similar. Don't believe me? Search for Extreme Signal or go to extremesignal.com. And that's Extreme Signal starting with an X, X-T-R-E-M-E. Not my idea, folks. Anyway, take a look at those antennas and you'll see that they're sort of a small, medium, and large size, and the medium and large size look like they're made up of multiple versions of the small size. Well, that's because they are. The smaller antenna is known as a 2-bay antenna, while the medium size is known as a 4-bay, and the larger one is known as an 8-bay. Now, don't ask me why they call them bays, because they're not really bays. A bay is a body of water, and these are not bodies of water. They're antennas, but whatever. There's got to be some reason, and if I had to guess, it probably has something to do with the United States military in World War II, because that's about when they named everything, to be really honest with you. But the number of bays, then it actually refers to the number of antenna receiving elements. And if you look at the HDB2X, it has 2 receiving elements. The HDB4X has 4 receiving elements, and the HDB8X has 8 receiving elements. Big surprise. At least that part was labeled relatively sensibly, folks. So the question is, why are these antennas so modular? And can you take 2 of the same one and basically turn them into one of the bigger ones? Because people do ask that. The answer is yes, but you probably shouldn't. Let me go back and explain a little bit. First of all, you'll see, as I said, a lot of commonality. There's a lot of common parts on these antennas. The receiving elements look exactly the same. Each part of the reflector assembly looks exactly the same. And if you have the 4-bay version, it looks like 2 of the 2-bay version, sort of stuck one on top of the other. And if you have the 8-bay version, it looks like 4 of the 2-bay version, 2 on one side, 2 on the other side. This kind of modularity saves us money, and it also makes it a lot easier for everything to connect. You see, what happens is that each one of these little segments, each antenna element is actually its own antenna. And by using common parts, it makes it easy for us to combine all of them simply by making sure that the distance in cable feet, in other words, the cable distance between any of the antenna elements, is exactly the same. So we take the 2 antenna elements and we combine them into one antenna. We take 2 of those and we combine them into one antenna. We take 2 of those and we combine them into one antenna. It's something that makes sense. It's a strategy that not only works for us because it helps us offer something at a much more reasonable price than engineering the whole thing from top to bottom every single time, but also it works for you. You see, our Extreme Signal antennas are some of the most popular in the marketplace because they actually work. And that's the most important thing to kind of consider. Not only do they work better than we expected. We specified these as low, medium, and long-range UHF antennas. And the truth is that our medium-range antenna outperforms what our spec was for the long-range antenna, and all of them pick up VHF better than we expected. We advertise them as UHF, VHF antennas because, honestly, they pick up VHF. They shouldn't, but they do. I mean, there's nothing in the engineering that would stop them. We didn't block them from picking up VHF, but we just didn't design them for it. And we find that especially our 8-bay antenna does a great job of picking VHF up to about 25 miles away from the towers, which is pretty decent. I think that just speaks to the way that these things are built and the quality of manufacturing. At least that's the way that I kind of perceive it. You might have different thoughts. At any rate, there's still time to get a great over-the-air antenna and have it delivered if you choose priority shipping for the big game on Sunday. And even if you don't make it for the big game on Sunday, you'll be glad you did if you pick up an over-the-air antenna from solidsignal.com. Even if you don't pick up one of our Extreme Signal line, you'll find that there are hundreds of other ones that you can choose from. The best selection that I've found anywhere, and that's honestly better than Amazon, which has a lot of the same kind of stuff, but not some of the specialty things that you'll find when you shop at Solid Signal. That's it for this podcast. I'll keep it relatively short because I want to make sure that I didn't turn you off too much with the advertising aspect of this particular podcast. But I really do believe in the things that we sell at Solid Signal. I eat our dog food, as they say in the business. I use these products myself. I'm proud to do it, and I'm proud to endorse it. I don't endorse things that I don't believe in, and I believe in this stuff. That's it for me for this week. Have a great one.